do it.
All right. Well, hello, everyone, and happy Monday. Thanks for joining us today. As you see, we have a lot going on.
Lots.
So what we decided, we pulled everything out. So what we decided to do today is go through the routine of like kind of when and how to take. You will notice on our website, a lot of times it goes unmissed because you don't scroll enough, but there is a learn more section next to every product. And in that, we give a little bit more detail on how to take, when to take, some pro tips. Yep. So that's always worth going to, or if somebody asks you questions, one of your, downline, upline, whatever, you can go ahead and send them to that learn more. But now you're also going to have this video. So with this video, we're going to kind of go through the whole shebang and how to kind of go through it, as well as some of our personal favorites on how we like to do it. But the biggest thing is, the consistency is key to supplementation, right? We want to make these products work for our bodies. And to be consistent, you have to have a routine. Without that, you're forgetting this, you thought you had great intentions and then that didn't happen. I mean, things have to be structured and routine. And then once they do that, it builds a habit. And then it's kind of like brushing your teeth. You don't really have to think about it. You just take your supplements. Okay, so let's go through.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny. You're talking about routine, then you said habit, and they're a lot alike, but they're not the same thing. It's funny because typically a habit is something that you have a cue for. Like if you go to the restroom, you have a cue to wash your hands. Whereas brushing your teeth, there's really not a cue. That's more of a routine.
Okay.
But you're right, though, to think that's ingrained in your brain. You've done it so often, so long, and routines can really become regular, like without cue. You can be kind of programmed to them, and they have been shown to reduce like clutter, noise in your brain. It's like they simplify certain tasks and things throughout the day that you're like more creative, actually. So study after study has shown the importance of a good, healthy routine, similar to habits in a lot of ways. But they can take some time. They can take a lot of time to develop. I mean, 18 to 250 days, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. When it comes to lifestyle and like healthcare type stuff, it can take a long time because there's a lot of intimidation, there's a lot of barriers. We tend to throw too much too fast, but that's not what we're trying to do here today. Ultimately, we're trying to simplify it. The supplementation part of the pillars of health is considered, in my mind, one thing. You could say, oh, I only want to start with D, or I only want to start with magnesium. That's fine. That's your personal prerogative. That's of course okay. But I don't have, in the same sense, I'll say, well, you can use all of these with the same routine, right? And there's reminder systems that we can give you some tips for and that kind of thing. But yeah, I know Lisa has a lot of reminders. She's got a lot of, they're like life hacks. It's kind of funny. I will say though, that I think that developing a solid supplement routine is probably one of the most critical life hacks that you can develop, because it's in the name of improving your health. And what good are we if our health is not as good as it possibly can be? And that's a fact. Like, I feel so good day in and day out. I constantly think that that's just how people feel. But when I go through an assessment and there's a subjective review and I hear people talk about how they feel on a daily basis, it's so sad. It's so disappointing to hear, because I know that the potential is there for them to feel so much better. So supplementation being one part of that, Lisa.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so let's go through it, because again,
where'd you go grab? Sugar? Oh, yeah. There we go. Travel on the go.
Anything that helps, again, the routine.
Love it.
So let's just start in the morning.
Okay.
And so we're going to be broad about this and then give kind of how we do our things. Let's start in the morning.
Are we focusing only on supplements, or are we doing like morning routine? Just supplements. Okay, let's do it. Okay.
So first of all, we have our organic coffee.
Okay.
And we also have the energy and focus patches. Why we say morning is because they both contain caffeine, and you do want to keep your caffeine consumption to the earlier part of the day, just to not interrupt your sleep.
Nothing past 10 a.m.
Right. Which is, I mean, ideal. I mean, we're very strict with that. Just
I'm very strict on that.
Sleep is crucial.
Yeah.
But you really, again, want to keep your caffeine intake to the earlier part of the day. Most people wake up and have their cup of coffee. If you want to do both of these, knowing that they both contain caffeine, you can split them up a little bit. You wake up and you have your cup of coffee, and then you put your your energy and focus patch on, 1 to 2 hours later. Doesn't have to stay on the full 8 hours. Okay. If you decide that you're going to put it on at 10, but you want to take it off at, at 2, because you don't want it to interrupt your sleep, go for it. You don't have to have it on for the 8 hours. How many cups or scoops of coffee can you have? It's equivalent to a cup of coffee.
Right.
So if you're a coffee drinker that drinks 2 cups of coffee a day, you can have the 2 scoops. Now, we don't really advise going much over the 2 scoops, only because of the caffeine content, and too much caffeine is not a good thing. Okay, so you get your energy stuff taken care of. And just a little tip too, I love putting my coffee in with my protein powder. That's one of my favorites. Okay, so then we go through, we have our first meal of the day. Okay, so your breakfast, you break fast, whatever it is. That's when you want to take your vitamin D. And why do we want to take this in the earlier
Fat
part of the day?
soluble, vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin, same with K2. Fat soluble vitamin, better absorption, better with food.
In the earlier part of the day.
Oh, it establishes the sleep awake cycle. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so you want to, it's all about getting ready for sleep at night, which seems funny, but that's why you want to be taking your vitamin D in the morning. Then also with the multivitamins. Okay, so with your first meal of the day, whatever multivitamin you take, that you want to get those done first because they contain the full B vitamin complex, and that can give us energy. So if you're deciding to take these with like a late lunch or something, it might interfere with sleep depending on your body.
And there's some fat soluble components in the multivitamins as well.
Correct. So again, more important to take with food. And then your factor 4, that's to split your dose, right? So it's a good idea to have half your dose with your breakfast.
Yeah. So I would do two. So my vitamin D intake is two capsules. So I do 4,000 units with the first meal and a multi, and I'll split my 6 soft gels of factor 4 throughout the day. So 2 with each meal.
Yeah. So we both just take a little bit more of the factor 4 because I mean, you can, so just really working to keep the inflammation down. And I alternate my days. I take one day and then 2 the next day. So but it's about knowing your vitamin D numbers.
Yeah.
I know my numbers and I'm high right now. So like, I don't want to exceed,
What's your blood
my
level?
limit. I don't know. I actually just did blood work. So we'll find out, but I was in the early 90s last time, which I like. That's where I like mine.
Okay.
But I don't want to go higher.
Okay.
Okay. So take those.
Don't go much further without talking about methylene blue.
I'm going, that's
Well.
next. Okay, so our lovely methylene blue. We advise more for the earlier part of the day, just because of like the brain stimulation that you can get from it. You don't want it to disrupt your sleep. You also want to take advantage of that, feeling like lit up and feeling really good. And so you don't want that to happen while you're sleeping.
Yeah. No, exactly. That's right. Yeah. And then so it doesn't matter food or no food. And also the one thing I do say is try to mimic that sunlight thing again. So you're like, take that methylene blue, 30 minutes, go get some sun. I do want to clear up a little confusion. Methylene blue does not have to be every other day. It can be every day. It could be 10 days on, 10 days off. It could be 15 on, 15 off, 30 on, 30 off. Whatever works for you. You can stay on it indefinitely. It really does vary. For me, wanted to optimize it. My mitochondria, I wanted to help them jumpstart and maintain optimal health in my mitochondria. So I was like, all right, every other day seems to make the most sense for me. Because ultimately you don't necessarily want to have to feed the mitochondria for indefinitely, right? I think that
right. You want them to work on their own.
You want them to work on their own. Exactly.
Just had a thought on what you were saying about methylene blue.
Methylene blue with or without food. You're not limited to once a day. You can also cut the strips. They are 20 milligrams, which is on the low end of the dosing schedule, but still plenty of efficacy. They've definitely been shown to work at 20, and definitely you guys are seeing that because you're letting us all know. So you can do a strip in the morning, another strip in the afternoon. You can do a half. Again, figure out what works best for you. There's plenty of research online about it. I know there's a lot of questions, so feel free to reach out to us.
And is the sunlight necessary or?
No. Not good question. Thank you. Not necessary, but definitely it is. How about synergistic effect?
Okay, perfect.
They work better when combined together.
Perfect, because that's a common question. Okay, so then we're going to get into the powders, minus the coffee.
Okay.
Get into the powders. So we have our reds, our greens.
Did you work out yet for the day?
I did. Yeah.
No, not today. I mean, in this simulated exercise.
Well, we're going to get there. I was going to say, I did.
I did.
Okay,
The ice bath, the sauna, workout.
We have our super red, super greens. We have our essential aminos, our protein powder, and our collagen. Okay, so the reason I'm kind of lumping them all together is because they can be taken any time of day, but it has to go with what works best in your routine. And it's all about, again, establishing that routine and figuring out what works for you. So we'll go through, because these can be taken any time of day, with other food, without food, on empty, it doesn't matter. But we're going to give our examples just to kind of help you think about what might work best for you. Okay, so I work out in the morning. So what do I do before my workout?
So we don't confuse people. So you woke up, what did you take? What's the first thing you did? Coffee? aminos.
No, because I do my coffee after.
Okay,
I
fair
do my
enough.
coffee
fair
because I work out so early that I like my aminos.
Okay.
And then our new pre-workout, I put those together and then I put my coffee in with my protein powder after. So
Right.
I'm a little bit.
I'm the more normal of the schedule. I'm coffee first. Still fasting though, not eating food. Then I'm at the gym. So my aminos are firing, getting ready for the gym with the creatine, which you guys will be pumped about. Then I come home, just got home from the gym. Then I go into the powders.
Okay, we'll get to you in a minute.
Sorry.
Okay, so back to me. No, I do the essential aminos before I work out in the morning. Combine those again with our enhanced E3 that you're gonna get as well, and the creatine too. So then after I get home from my workout, then that's when I combine my super greens, my protein, my coffee,
Oh wow.
and my collagen.
Oh wow.
So you see how you can make it work for you to get it all in all at once. But I love the combination. It tastes so good to me. And then later in the afternoon, we did talk about the second dose of that. Okay. Later in the afternoon, maybe around sometime after lunch, right? Maybe somewhere between 3 and 5 o'clock, when I kind of just feel like I need a little bit of a boost. It doesn't necessarily give you like a caffeine boost, but it wakes me up a little bit. I do another dose of my essential aminos and I mix it with my super reds.
I love that because you're right in between eating windows. So the amino acids will keep your body in muscle protein synthesis while you're in that longer eating window in the middle of it. So every 3 hours about, right? After about 3 hours, your body will start breaking down muscle to feed other parts of your body. That's why the essential aminos are so awesome.
Yeah.
Fill in that like, and then instead of picking some junk food and snacking like recklessly, you can discipline yourself with that. That's awesome.
Right. Great fuel for the body.
It is.
And I am doing 2 scoops of the collagen a day. So I put that in with this together. So that's my second dose of aminos, my second dose of collagen, and I put it with my super reds.
Cool.
Okay, that goes to all of that. And then we have our magnesium.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when are you taking your magnesium?
Magnesium and CBD oil. So I prefer both of my magnesium before bed. I am not a good sleeper, so anything that's going to help myself sleep and rest and calm down, that's what I do. We'll talk about you. And then I use the 1500 milligram CBD oil, and I just right before bed, like literally right when I'm getting into bed, I just do a dropper full. That's what works best for me. And if then, I do use sleep patches on occasion. I'm one that's like, if I feel like I'm going to need it, then I use it. Some people love to use them every day, but then you're just going to put that on 30 minutes prior to sleep. That can be in combination. Yes, you always need your magnesium, but in combination with the CBD oil as well. Again, with the CBD oil, you can also take it more. It doesn't have to just be right before bed, but if I'm ever feeling a little bit stressed or anxious during the day, I'll do a second dose then. And I think that's my routine.
Awesome.
Right?
Yeah, you guys heard my morning. So I come home from the gym. I do the same thing. I have the powder mix. So I'm doing the protein. I've got the reds, the greens, the collagen, and then I'm off to the races. At lunch, though, I do split my magnesium dose. So 2 capsules a day is a serving. So I'll take 1 at lunch. I try to get that away from the multivitamin. That's kind of one of my suggestions, so it doesn't bind or chelate or compete for absorption sites with other minerals, which it possibly can do. So I'll do the magnesium at lunch. And then after lunch, typically in the mid part of the day, like she does, I'll do an amino acids or a reds also as a pick-me-up. I think that's a great, that's actually, I look forward to that a lot, actually. And then bedtime, I do the same. I take my last magnesium. I'm not a CBD user.
Well, he sleeps like a rock. So.
Yeah, I sleep actually pretty good. So I really enjoy the magnesium. And I also do a collagen or a protein powder after dinner. And that is to obviously hit my protein goals, because as you've heard us speak before, we really do preach trying to hit higher protein goals. And honestly, something about it, just the satiety, the flavor of the vanilla protein is like a milkshake to me. It's very dessert-like. I enjoy it a lot. Or the collagen, like sometimes just sipping on it, it's the equivalent of like a tea in my brain without any stimulants, without any caffeine.
Right.
I love it. I think it's awesome, so.
Again, it's about establishing your routine, and it's based on your work schedule, your life schedule.
Yeah.
What I ran and grabbed was our LiveGood shaker. Just another way to help yourself get on a good routine.
Yep.
So you open up the bottoms, and if you want to take your capsules with you, say you eat your, you have your breakfast, you break fast while you're out at work, you can put your fat soluble vitamins, right? Your multivitamin, your vitamin D, and then put your factor 4 all in here. You could have other powders in here for later. A lot of times what I do is I'll just stick all my powder in here, right? Remove this guy that just helps shake it. I will put everything for my smoothie into here. And then when I'm ready to eat it or drink it, should I say, then I put the water in, shake it up, and then it's done. So again, there should be no excuses. It takes such minor amount of preparation. You just have to think about what's my day like tomorrow? How am I going to get all my supplements in and plan for it? Another thing that I love to use, I love my pill sorters. This one looks a little intense, but I love it. So every day, and I get this off of Amazon, it has Monday through Sunday, but you have 4 different options, for bed, late afternoon, lunch, breakfast, and each one comes out so you can take it with you. So if I'm gone for the day, this is Monday, I will literally take this and stick it in my purse. That way they're all with me. It's just so easy. So again, that's what works for me. You need to figure out what works for you, how to combine all your supplements into your day, because that way we stay consistent. And if we're consistent, they're effective.
Oh yeah, and I think it's funny, right? And you know how you know when it's working, when you got a routine dialed in. You know how I know is when I miss something. I'm like, son of a gun.
Right.
I'm pissed.
Right.
Dang,
Right.
that? So you kind of feel like a sense of loss of dang, I really forgot to do that, and then
You
it's
get bummed out.
you get bummed out a little bit, yeah. Little things that I don't use them anymore, but reminders. The Apple phones are so good with reminders. Visuals, good, helpful. If you have it, leave it out, you see it. That's helpful. I don't have too many tips. I know there's apps that can do things like that. It's big in the pharmaceutical space because they used to call it compliance, and they got rid of that and they started calling it adherence. But it was big on that. Like there's services that will send you a text message, reminder systems, because they always, of course, wanted the refills and keep you on your routine, right? So that's our routine. Yeah, let's hit some questions. I want to guys, I want to read you this quick quote too. John Maxwell said, "You will never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily moments." There we go. Yeah, I might have done. I don't know how. Sorry, guys. This camera just does its own thing sometimes. How about now?
Fine. That's fine.
Well,
Okay.
low tech guy in a high tech world, just like Nora likes to say. I love that quote. Anyway, that's the John Maxwell quote, and it's so true. It really does start with your daily routines. And when you hit your goals, you're working towards something. You feel better doing it. Like I said earlier, I consider this sort of one part of lifestyle medicine. So one part of your day that you need to work on changing, regardless if it's one supplement or 15. I know that sounds crazy, but I think once you start doing it, you'll love it just as much as we do. I mean, I feel great. I have super high energy, sleep awesome. Let's look at some questions. What do we have?
Yes. So when I say I put my powders into one, yes, I put them all into one drink. So I blend my smoothie, and that's why I put my protein, my greens, my collagen, and my coffee. I put that with some blueberries and ice and water, and voila. And then when I do the reds and the aminos and the collagen, I just put it all in one cup, mix it together. It makes it, it tastes great, and it cuts down on time. And someone was saying that with all this supplementation leaves little room for eating, but no, eating is a huge part of this. This is not a meal replacement by any means. I do make my smoothie. I make it hearty enough that is my meal in the morning, and you can do that as well. But that's the only thing here that is supplementing a meal for me.
Yeah, Monica asked what's a list of things that should not be taken together. There are tips on the website. The learn more section, the pro tips, scroll down, check that stuff out. Really, for me, I like to separate my magnesium. I know it combined. There are some things with methylene blue that we've made, that available to you guys in the Zoom, as well as on the website. You can look and see as far as, contraindications or potential drug interactions. But as far as the organics and the powder, these are just whole food. Remember, these are supplements to a diet. That's what this is. They're like food ingredients. So,
right. But
for the most part,
all of these can be taken together, but you wouldn't want to take your magnesium, here it is, with your multi, like Ryan said, because of the binding.
Sure.
But other than that, they can
Sure,
be taken together.
Sure. And there's a lot of little nuances, right? I mean, just how you feel, how you react, the ingredients that are in there. I mean,
Do you have to be working out to take all these? Absolutely not.
no,
Absolutely not. So your protein shake is just, it's like a piece of chicken. Think about it. Like it's just kind of what you prefer. And then your essential aminos, a lot of times people associate this with working out, but no matter if you're working out or not, we all need to maintain our muscle mass. Right? Even if you're not working to build muscle mass, but we should be anyways, because you lose muscle mass day by day as you age. We need to maintain our muscle mass so that the natural aging process of taking our muscle from us doesn't happen. So not at all.
and they're the precursors to building lots of protein, which they're precursors to neurotransmitters, hormones, enzymes. So yes, amino acids should be part of your daily diet, regardless of fitness level.
Intermittent fasting, again, just when that's why I was saying breakfast or break fast. Your first meal of the day, whenever you break your fast, that's when you want to take your multivitamin and your vitamin D.
Keisha asked if it's okay to open the capsules. Yes, it is, but not the soft gel and the factor 4. That's an oil mix. You would not want to open the soft gel. Collagen good for hot water? Yes, actually, it'll dissolve much easier if you put it in warmer hot water, and it is stable. You won't mess with it.
Okay, just said to take my multivitamin with vitamin D with and factor 4 first meal of the day.
Quite a few questions coming in here about specific disease states like diabetes. That is something that we have a Zoom on, actually, the topic on diabetes. Please watch that. There's one on hypertension and heart disease as well. And then, of course, once you watch that, if you have any questions, email us. We're happy to try to fill in any blanks.
Awesome, Amy. Thank you for sharing. We do have a LiveGood product testimonial page. So any great testimonials, would love to hear that there.
Let's see, foot cramping, some question about cramping. Look, it could the cause of cramping could be magnesium deficiency.
But the aminos would not cause.
Oh, not cause, no. It wouldn't cause any dehydration. The aminos aren't going to do that. That's not anything I'd be concerned about with that. So there's a question here from Lionel about magnesium and calcium. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's one of the reasons why we left calcium out of our multi, but the magnesium should not be taken together with the calcium. I'd separate those by at least 2 hours.
Yeah, these are all supplements, to a healthy diet. They're natural vitamins and minerals, can be taken with your regular.
Usually, yeah. I just, again, contraindication wise, there's nothing in here that would be that significant other than methylene blue, which if you've heard me speak on the topic, I think it's overstated at the 20 milligram dose. But as a precaution, we still make you guys aware we're all about education. So that matters to us. All right. Aminos per day, interesting question. That's on our Zoom too regarding protein. I would focus on just starting to get it in. But for aminos, there's no upper limit. I mean, it's probably, okay, maybe I'd say about 20 grams of essential amino acids is probably the upper limit. Ours has about 3.7 or 3.8 per serving.
But
so
specific supplement questions, just remember, we have done a Zoom covering each supplement itself. So check those out. It's all on our page. Okay. So Joel, he's asking, and I did see this on Facebook. If you put the super reds, if you make a big pitcher, so you have a big batch in the fridge rather than mixing it once a day, is that okay? Will it lose its efficacy? There are no preservatives in these supplements. So once you mix, it's not necessarily that you have to drink it right away, but it really should be within.
I don't know why you would want to do it that
24-hour period.
Right. I would want to consume it right away once it's mixed. It's most stable in powder form. Once it goes into liquid, all bets are off.
All of our Zooms are on our YouTube channel. Some of them are under the video section and some are under the live section because we were recording and now we're streaming live, but they are all there, every single one of them.
All right, guys, look, I mean, there's still some questions coming in, but we're not going to go through and talk about anything like specific disease state. Please watch our other videos. Please email us.
I just jumped.
Did you? Yeah, there you go. You can scroll with 2 fingers and just put it down it.
See how it goes in?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay, you just answered that, right?
Yeah, I did about the calcium and magnesium. Chelation is the word. In some way they combine together. They can compete for absorption sites in the gut or in the small intestine.
Yes, you can mix in the powders with your food. Just you can get creative with it. I mean, I've done super greens in with olive oil and vinegar for a salad dressing.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, you can
Yeah.
do what works for you for sure.
And a lot of these ingredients can be combined in foods that Lisa, you've talked about and done things on.
Yeah, I mean,
baking and
any
recipes.
single time I bake, I'm always putting a hefty scoop or two of the protein
Always.
with a couple scoops of the collagen. There's in my eyes, there's no reason to not add it in there.
Okay, awesome.
All right, so any further questions, or like Ryan was saying, some of these like complete disease states that people are asking questions on, you go ahead and email me those and we will get those answers back to you. But thank you for joining. We will not be here next week.
Nope, oh yeah, we're not here next
We'll be in the air at that
On
time.
an
We're
air
traveling.
pass.
So yeah, so exactly at that time we will be traveling. But other than that, thanks for watching and we'll see you.
Yeah, you guys have a rockin' Monday.